are back on the air again because we now have our first tornado warning of the evening. And this is that storm that was in Polk County. Wanted to let you guys know, again, it is now just to the east of where it was when we left off earlier. This has just moved out of the McCully area, just out of that area, and it is now moving east and south into a very rural area. But if you are in the area of Hartley, Arkansas, if you are in the area of Albert, Arkansas, and I'm going to say something here, if you're in the area of Faulkner Springs or Mineola or Athens, you need to be seeking shelter at this time. And the reason I say those last three locations, even though there's no tornado warning there, is because of a technicality. It's because the National Weather Service in Shreveport is the one that issues the warnings in this area of Arkansas. National Weather Service in Little Rock issues the warnings in this area. So they do not have the authorization to issue the warnings down here, but this storm is most certainly coming into this area. And if Shreveport is on the ball, they're going to issue a warning as well for this location just to the south of Polk County. I believe it is Sevier County and Little River, but I could be wrong. I'd have to look at a county map, so I'll know if they issue more warnings for these areas. It's getting a little bit out of my familiarity zone, but I certainly do want to let you guys know of this storm. Alright, so again, recapping a tornado warning, the first tornado warning of the evening. This one is only a 1/4 inch hail, or excuse me, 3/4 inch hail. It expires in 27 minutes, but the fact that they have issued a tornado warning is cause for concern. Now, this is radar indicated rotation. Let me explain. Radar indicated rotation means that it has not been spotted by spotters. It has not been confirmed. However, because there is what's called a hook echo signature on Doppler radar, which is this little hook you see right here on the underside of the storm, that's what's causing concern and making them believe that there is significant rotation, enough of rotation that is going to cause them to issue a tornado warning. Again, this storm really a couple streams ago, we were looking at this storm when it was up north and west of Hatfield, and it was coming between Hatfield and Neenah on 5971 State Highway, and it comes down and it comes right across the Polk 23 and the Highway 246, and then it just keeps churning across. Now, this storm is not moving fast. It is still in the same general vicinity, so that means it's going to be dumping a lot of rain, even if you're not affected by heavy, strong winds and hail. You're still going to be affected by the rain in this storm. It's moving so incredibly slow. Again, this is the only tornado warning that I'm seeing in the entire area. But again, one is too many, and this tornado warning, this next radar signature, look at this. Just to the north of Hartley, there is a definitive hook echo. That is a classic hook echo signature on this radar image that we're seeing. So I'm going to go ahead and do a rotation track. Oh yeah, as you can absolutely see, this is strong rotation right here. And we're talking, this is very rural area, but you can see the rotation as defined by Doppler radar. There's nothing in this area. I don't even have street names, but these are just tiny farm roads, little rural roads leading to farms and houses. But if you're anywhere just to the west of Caney Creek Wilderness, between the towns of Sadie and Hartley, you need to be seeking shelter immediately. This is not a storm you want to mess around with. This is a tornado warning. Again, if the National Weather Service in Shreveport deems necessary, they'll be issuing a warning now extending to the south as well. I'm going to go ahead and look up that county, find out what county that is. So your county's in Arkansas. Right now it's in Polk County. But if the National Weather Service in Shreveport deems necessary, they're going to go ahead and issue a tornado warning for looks like Howard County, and we'll see if they do that or not. Okay, as the rotation weakens slightly, a little bit. Again, you also have to think how close are you to the radar and the curvature of the Earth, because Doppler radar beams go in a straight line and they eventually go shooting off into space. They're not going to go along with the curvature of the Earth. So depending on where your Doppler radar is, you need to know what angle to put this at. Again, because I'm not as familiar with this area and where the exact location of the radar is for the National Weather Service in Little Rock or whatever, where this composite is coming from. I don't know what exactly to put it at, but you know, honestly, it's getting a very good read at this angle here. And if that's the case, that could explain why they've issued this this tornado warning at this time. So we're getting some decent amounts of lightning from this storm. There's a good amount of lightning here. This whole area is getting a lot of lightning, honestly. But wanted to know if this weather-wise had a debris tracker, but I don't see one, unfortunately. Something that we're really looking at here is if we start to see funny colors. If a funny color starts to show up here, you're talking green rectangle or a red rectangle or something right next to each other, that means you have some sort of debris. And if you have a debris ball, that means you probably have a tornado on the ground. This is really tightening up here. Did you see that last rotation, or excuse me, the last sweep of the radar gave us a very strong hook echo right here. I cannot stress enough, this storm is rapidly shaping up into a real storm here. A serious tornado situation. If you live anywhere in Mineola, Faulkner Springs, Hartley, maybe even Baker Springs, definitely in Shady or Athens, get to your safe zone now. Just a quick recap of what your safe zone is. If you live in a mobile home, nothing is safe. If you live in a mobile home, you want to get underground in a storm shelter. However, if you do not have that as an option, it can be somewhat beneficial, especially if the windows blow out in a mobile home. Get to your inner room. At least you'll be protected from flying debris if the mobile home stays put. However, if you're in a traditional ranch style home or any other home like that, get to a lower floor indoor center room with no external walls. This puts as many walls between you and the outside as possible if there's debris flying in a storm. Again, a tornado has not been confirmed in this storm as of right now. However, it's radar indicated and it is tightening up, so a tornado could drop from this storm at any second, and you do not want to be in a house right as the tornado drops onto your house. So again, tornado precautions: stay indoors in a center room of your house. Oftentimes here in the Midwest, a lot of those center rooms are going to be bathrooms. If you have that as an option, please make sure that you are in that bathroom with no external windows, no external walls, and even get into your bathtub and put a mattress over you and hunker down. This storm means business. Go ahead and refresh here. We may have just lost that that tornado warning, which would be a great sign, but yeah, I want to say we've lost the tornado warning, which is excellent news. Yeah, I'm seeing seeing anymore at this time. Let me go ahead and check a few things here, because I want to see if that is accurate. Well, this is still saying it, but it's saying it 3 minutes ago, and we lost the warning just after that timestamp. We do one more refresh before I call it good. Okay, so it looks like the National Weather Service has actually allowed or even canceled that tornado warning, which is a fantastic sign. I'm going to go ahead and get the rotation tracker back on. This one here. I'm still seeing rotation. I can't say I know why they have allowed that to expire. But yeah, it looks like the National Weather Service has allowed that warning to expire. So what they're seeing, I'm going to rely that they are saying that that the storm has weakened below even severe weather limits, which is actually very interesting. Usually a storm will just become severe after a tornadic storm, won't just drop off entirely, but again, that's a great thing if it did. I do want to quickly turn our attention over to eastern Oklahoma, as we have a slew of severe thunderstorm warnings just charging right through the Poto, Heavener, and McCurtain County area, really actually heading right into the town of Worcester right now. We have a severe thunderstorm warning, 1 inch hail. This is for southwestern Sebastian County and west central Arkansas. This is southeastern Haskell County, northeastern Latimer County, and central LaFleur County in southeastern Oklahoma. Folks, this is my old stomping grounds. I used to live in this area, and I have to say that just west of Poto here is what they call the world's highest hill, measured from the top of the courthouse, of course. But interestingly, that has often split the storms as they go through this area. So we'll have to see if this storm does split around this this terrain that is right in this area. But we'll find out here in just a few moments. Panama, it looks like you're getting hit by a sizable storm. Rock Island, Pocola, just some heavy rain and cloud to ground lightning. Let's move down into the Heavener area. It looks like there's 2 warnings. There's this one here, which is bowing out. This looks like a this is more of a bow echo now. So what that's doing, oh yeah, look at that. It just refreshed and proved my point. This storm is bowing out, definitely, and it's becoming a very strong wind event as it comes charging through. So this storm, if you're living anywhere in the what's just south of Heavener, I believe, yeah, Hodgson, Joe, Stapp, Page, those places, if you're living in anywhere in those areas, right where the Ouachita Mountains start as you head south from the urban areas of LaFleur County. This is going to be a strong wind event with heavy rain and looks like what 3/4 inch hail. So we will want to definitely keep an eye on that one. And then this one here, this is the one in northern McCurtain County. This one has just been slowly plodding its way through McCurtain County now for the better part of an hour, if not more. The hail is 1.5 inches, so this is some good size hail coming down. And this is the National Weather Service in Shreveport issuing this one. So they are monitoring it. I would be curious though if Shreveport is not going to issue a severe thunderstorm warning, or at least something, maybe a special weather statement for this storm as it moves into their area and out of Polk County. I have to say, this one, I still see a very strong hook signature. So again, I'm mystified as to why the National Weather Service in Little Rock did drop that. But again, I hope that they see something here that I don't. And right as we reach 9:30 now, the storm that was producing the severe thunderstorm warning in McCurtain County has been allowed to expire, and I'm not seeing one reissued. We'll see if they do. Moving down to the one in Denison and Sherman area. That one's just now moving into Denison, and boy, the entire town of Denison is just under the gun right now with an enormous amount of rain coming down. You've got an inch and a half hail, so that town's getting pummeled with a strong thunderstorm right now, folks. If you're in the Denison area, you want to be staying away from windows and just not messing around. Play it safe. Don't do looky-loo, and just let this storm come through as you ride it out, and it'll be over before too much longer. You know, the rest of Arkansas really is just a huge rain event. We'll be seeing flood watches and warnings all throughout. I'm sure we see flood watches. Of course we do. Flood watches are something that is a hallmark of every weather event in this area of the Midwest. But honestly, the tornado watch will be expiring in actually just half an hour. So I'm thinking we'll see these storms starting to die down now, as daytime heating really has diminished, and the nighttime is coming. And traditionally, unless the storms are just these one of a kind, one-off supercells that just go barreling across the area, they usually will die down a few hours after the sunset. Alright, this storm that's coming into Poto, I really want to see if it starts to split a little bit. Right around the world's highest hill, it's starting to fizzle right here, and Poto is just getting some rain. I would be a little bit surprised if I saw any of this yellows or reds or oranges coming right into the Poto urban area, because again, I lived many years in Poto and in Gilmore, and honestly, when the storms would come through, if they came directly from the west to the east, they would almost invariably split around this large hill that is just to the west of Poto. We'll see if it still has that same trajectory as this moves forward. Let's see. And again, that storm in the eastern Polk County, it's a strong storm, but yeah, there's no watch, or excuse me, there's no warning with that storm as of this time. So again, that's a good sign. You know, National Weather Service in Little Rock has seen that storm is weakened below severe limits, and it has allowed that warning to be canceled, which is a good sign. So again, that was the only tornado warning of this evening. Zooming out fully here, just a very quick recap of the entire nation, as we used to cover a lot of different areas when we were a national entity. You know, there's really no other big storms to speak of. Some weather coming into the Bakersfield, Los Angeles area, our old stomping grounds once again. Some showers and thunderstorms moving through the Florida areas, Florida Panhandle, and then a rain event, just a typical autumn rain event going on in New England, Connecticut, New York, Massachusetts. A decent thundery night without any kind of dangerous severe weather going on in Indiana and Illinois and parts of Kentucky. There were some severe thunderstorms earlier in the afternoon in Tennessee, but those have now since long died down, and now it's just rain. Interestingly, we did just get several special weather statements issued for the storms that were in the McAllister area moving in. These storms just keep building and moving east. It's kind of interesting to watch because this storm that's now been generating a special weather statement, if you go on the putting it in motion here, you'll see that this storm this moves so incredibly slow, and they just keep churning to the east, but they also are just kind of forming out of nothing and then blowing up and becoming large-sized storms. So again, the surface map, and I want to take you to a surface map. I want to show you what's going on here. So you can see this map here, and again, well, this is not current. That's all I know. It was issued 23rd. Yeah, this was earlier earlier in the day. There, that's the current one right there. Okay, that's more like it. So I knew that wasn't right. So you have an area of low pressure right here, and the high pressure up here. So the high pressure is coming down, it's pushing the low pressure out of the way. You have a frontal boundary right here, if you can see my mouse, and the area of most concern, of course, is right here, and that's exactly where we have seen all the storms develop. I mean, right down to the T. That's exactly where they were developing all day today, and that is right ahead. And as this front pushes through, because the front is pushing down to the south and east, you're going to see the storms fizzle, because behind it is much drier, more stable air, and it's not going to be producing severe weather. So, going back to our maps here one last time before we call it a night. This, well, let's get this out of motion here, because got a special weather statement on top of a severe thunderstorm warning. So they're definitely covering all of their bases here. And like I said, this storm is breaking around the world's highest hill, Kavanaugh Mountain. Again, it may push through, it may come around, but it does seem to split, or at least weaken the storms as they head directly east. We did have one storm that came through earlier on a previous stream. I was covering it right over by the Gilmore and Hill area. Remember we were talking about the Old Cameron Highway and Green Top Road, and how the storms were coming through there. Well, you guys are in for it again. So it looks like Old Cameron Highway, Cameron, Rock Island, Hill, Gilmore, maybe even down to Monroe this time, Nail Creek, and my memory's failing me, but there are all these roads out in this rural area between Poto and Gilmore. Looks like you guys are under it again. Boy, that storm is actually pushing over the mountain. It's weakened a little bit. It's stalled a little bit, or split, but it is coming over the mountain. So because of that, this storm will probably end up hitting the Gilmore and Poto area once again tonight, before it calls it a night. But again, no tornado warnings. Again, because this is outside of our coverage area, and we really do just cover the Oklahoma City area, mainly western Oklahoma City, and the Yukon Mustang area is our new stomping grounds, as it were, which we'll be covering, of course, when any severe weather does break into the Bethany Yukon Mustang area. But as of right now, these storms really are just kind of knocking their way through. Did we just get another severe thunderstorm warning? It looks like it blinked at us, and it says that we did. So, yeah, 9:38. Looks like at 9:38, so just now, a severe thunderstorm was located 5 miles north of Worcester, moving east at 40 miles an hour. So damage to roofs, siding, and trees. So again, it's marginally severe. It's just 60-mile-an-hour winds, and the hail on this one is nickel-sized. So the hail is not what's causing it to be severe, it's just the wind speed. So it's marginally severe. Locations in or near the path of this storm include Hackett, Patterson, Pensacola, Rye Hill, Worcester, Bonanza, Sadie Point, Jensen, Howell, Hartford. That's looking into Scott County. So yeah, we've got, Sebastian County. So Sebastian County, the same county as in southern Fort Smith and LaFleur County. So Arcola, Cameron, Fanshawe, Poto, Midland, Lake Worcester State Park, Panama, Heavener, Excelsior, and Rock Island. All of these areas are under the gun. I'm noticing something interesting here. It's saying for your protection, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of a building. Not all these severe thunderstorm warnings have been saying that, and I think the reason they're saying that is because a tornado watch remains in effect for this location. So, yeah, boy, if you are in Poto or Gilmore, if you're in Panama, Sadie Point, Cameron, Rock Island, yeah, you do want to be moving into a place of shelter, actually, as this storm comes charging through. Now, I am seeing an echo, hook, looks like a hook signature right here. That might just be the shape of the storm. I'd have to let it go through another radar sequence before I said for sure. Let me put it in motion really fast. Well, that's hard to say. it's turning more into a gust front. This is becoming, not a gust front, a squall line, excuse me, my term. A little background, I've been living in California for over a decade, since dealing with storms. I haven't dealt with storms actually in a very long time, and so my vocabulary is there, but sometimes the wrong terms come out, so that'll all get ironed out over the next few months. In California, we didn't really have any storms. There was nothing much to speak of except occasional dust storms and some small thunder showers in the wintertime. Yeah, so this, boy, that could be turning into something right there. I'm going to go ahead and throw a rotation track on that. No. Nope. I'm not seeing it here. I don't see that as being rotation really at all. However, looks like National Weather Service in Little Rock just put in a special weather statement for that storm that was a tornado earlier. Let's go ahead and see what they have to say. Looks like a strong thunderstorm impacting east central Polk County, northwestern Pike, southwestern Montgomery. And it was a strong thunderstorm over Shady, not Shady Point up in Florida, but this is the town of Shady. And it is saying consider seeking shelter. So it's not going to be as volatile as a tornadic storm, but it is a strong thunderstorm. So it's 9:45 at night. Don't be outside in a strong thunderstorm. You never know what kinds of things are falling from the sky, whether it's hail or branches. You just don't want to be out there. Boy, this storm, if this storm holds together, this could end up becoming a problem for the same areas as they train across. Now, of course, if the frontal boundary moves, then everything will start to move as well. Some storms, they tend to move a little bit slower than the frontal boundary itself, and the frontal boundary will almost pass the storm and kill it, because the change in temperature and the drier air behind it collapses the storm. Then you have a downburst and a strong wind, and that's the end of that storm. But it just really depends on how fast the frontal boundary is moving in relation to the storm itself. Alright, well, that's about the size of it. I'm going to go ahead and call it an evening. I'm not seeing any more rotation at this time, and we want to make sure that you guys stay safe. But I also want to just let everyone know quickly, again, this is not our normal coverage area, so if you are tuning into this area, we don't usually cover this. We usually cover the Oklahoma City Metro, but because there was a severe weather outbreak tonight in this particular area, and there had not been one that was taking our time in the Oklahoma City area, we wanted to cover this one and keep everyone advised of the severe weather going on in that area. Again, this is Ben Ditzel, and I am with Stormwarn, and we will keep you advised of any further developments if they turn severe once again, but it looks like that's about the size of it for this evening. Again, we will keep it monitored, and if you have any storm reports, please feel free to tweet us on X at StormwarnOK and on Telegram at Stormwarn, and we will keep you advised.